All right, let's try this again without the dogs running around. I've tried like 3 times to film just this little bit, and they wanted to get their exercise in the basement today by chasing themselves. Looks like we're good now. All right. So what we're doing down here, as I said in the first video at the beginning, and you saw the 3D that I had done in SketchUp, that this wall here is going to have furring strips, and it's actually going to be this wall too, but we're going to start with this one, so I know what I'm doing. So what I have are these. They were 5/4 by 6 by 8 foot pieces that I ended up taking over to my dad's table saw and ripping in half, just because I don't need a whole 6 inches. Just need something to attach these shallow electrical boxes to. And what's going to happen is I'm going to space them out around every 2 feet or so, frame in my window areas here, and put those furring strips up. And I forgot to mention they are pressure treated, just because it does get a little damp, just a smidge, and I don't want them to rot out anytime in the future. So might as well just make them pressure treated. And we'll just Tapcon those to the wall, and then run some 6-inch wide tongue and groove, likely pine or something, horizontally across this wall all the way up. So the furring strips are every 2 feet. Boxes are every 4. I think I'm going to do every other furring strip, skipping the ones on the end. So I'll have 4, mostly from 1, 2, 3, and 4, give or take somewhere in there. And we'll run that back and then up. I am planning on running this same outlet here down the back side of this post. I remember in the last video I mentioned that I was going to put the 240 volt on the bottom of that, but I think I'm going to put regular there also. So we'll do that. So let me lay these out and we'll go from there. All right, so this is what I was talking about. Just got them propped up right now. And they're not 2 foot on center. They're 2 foot spacing in between each. I was going to, and I still might, get some 1-inch foam, which comes in 4 foot sections, and slit that down to 2. This one is not 2 foot. So I don't know what I'm doing yet. Obviously I'm gonna have to cut these off. The ones that fall under the window, that one, I think if I run them the other direction, starting there, so my non 2 foot section is there, I end up with 2 studs being directly in line with the window, and I can cut those off and use them to frame the sides, because this isn't going to fly right now with it being just like that and whatnot. I do have one left over for scrap that I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm not going to put any plates at the top and bottom because it's just furring strips. Probably about 4 Tapcons in each. 4 times 11 is 44. I got plenty of those, plus whatever I got to do for the window. So that's what it looks like laid out. I'm moderately happy with it. And so what we'll do is we'll take these and see where we want them. So 1, 2, put one here. And then we'll skip one, put you there. And then, let's see. Do I start on the other side and go to the 3rd one in and put one there, and then skip one and put one here? And look at that. I don't know. I really want one to fuck. If I have a stud that falls right in the center, I would like to use that because that's where my miter saw is going to go. So, I mean, maybe I don't have anything over there. Maybe I do. Maybe I just do that and that. Put this one in so I can use this as a workbench area on those cabinets there. Have somewhere to plug into. And then leave a space there, because that door is going to have to swing open. It's only going to be about there, I think. So that'll have plenty of room to be outside of the door. I don't know. I don't know if I should move that one over or not. But I think I'm happy with these. I think I'm happy with having one in the center of that one in the center of that one, and one right in the middle. I might change the side of the studaton depending on where this actually falls. But I think I like that. I think I do. So you can see where I was going with my 3D model that I'll put up on screen right now again. So you can see that I had it the other way with the 2-foot section toward a wall starting on the left side. But you can see that I've cut off near the tops for the windows. So I think I'm happy with these three. This one, who knows, maybe I'll just put it to the other side of that space so that it's more centered in that area. I could live with that and then have whatever in this area, because the miter station is going to end about there. And it's going to have somewhere to, a swing leg that'll come out and go down so I can overhang longer boards. So I think I'm good with that. Yeah, I mean, what I can do is just start cutting these down and figure out where I go from there. But let me do some thinking, and I'll get back to you. All right, it's a different day. You can tell because I'm wearing a different shirt. I went and got some more stuff. You saw me bring that down. I got some pieces of 4 foot by 8 foot, 1 inch foam sheets here. I got 5 of them. That should be enough for this one wall. Also got some DryLock paint. I'm gonna seal this wall for moisture. Got a couple other things. I got a deeper box for the wall over there. You just saw me clean off this wall. It's really dusty and gross. Now it's all over the floor. So I got some of that off. I'm gonna put down some paper so I don't get it all over the concrete. And then I'm going to caulk some of these cracks. Honestly, I should have used, or should use, hydraulic cement, but I didn't want to buy hydraulic cement because I didn't feel like working in cement. So I just got some cement crack filler that is waterproof, and then I'm going to go over it with a couple coats of DryLock anyway. It's parged on the outside, not that means a whole lot. And this wall honestly doesn't leak. It just gets damp on the block itself, just from what I would assume to be humidity in the basement. But we'll go through with some caulk and caulk these cracks, and I'll be right back. All right, so I made a mess. This is the stuff I put in, just filling cracks as I go. I sealed the bottom of this window. I am gonna need some expanding foam for the edges. Not on this one. This one's probably okay. But the other window has some gaps where you can see daylight through. See if I can get it. Yeah, right there. You can kind of in this crack here. So that's just open vent going right out the outside. So I'm gonna fill that with some expanding foam probably. But I filled a lot of these cracks. This stuff sucks. It very slow moving, super sticky. My hand is just dying from the amount of squeezing. And it makes a terrible mess. So that's one thing. All right, I'm back. I don't have spray foam, but I do have some silicone that I'm just gonna use to seal temporarily. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. See how it goes. Oh yeah, that's messier than hell. So this is where the intention was to go in here. I went back over the other caulk I had in here, the concrete sealer, and this is just going to leach all the water out of everything. So we'll see how well it does, and I'll just come back and get any slack. I was just seeing if it would be worth anything. The biggest spot where I was most worried about, I did this window also, was right here. This is big, wide open. Still kind of is. I don't know if you can see that, but there's light coming through-ish. But it's through transparent material, so that means it's not wind just whipping right through. I gotta wait for all this stuff to dry. It's taking a bit longer than I had thought. So I'm gonna replace these lights, I think, with my shop lights that I have. So let's get started on that. All right, the lighting's different now. I installed this. I took out the old one that was there and I just snipped the end and put it in there. Don't do that unless you know what you're doing, I guess. But it's brighter in here. I just gotta do these ones. All right, so that last clip ended a tad abruptly. Here you can see Kim and I DryLock painting this back wall. This is our first coat. It does go on pretty thick just because the paint was pretty cold and the actual texture and viscosity of this paint is just a thick paint. We put this first coat on probably thicker than we should have. It does say that one can is for, I think, 100 to 150 square foot of wall for 2 coats, and that was absolutely not the case. It took us 2 cans to do a single coat just for this wall, which is 160 square feet or so. But we put it on really thick, which later on helped with the next coat because I didn't have to do as much. So I just went through and filled all of the voids in the block because you really got to do that, or else there's really no point in doing it. But yeah, it was fairly simple. Only took about an hour. Second coat, probably 45 minutes. All right, so we got this wall painted with the first coat of DryLock this morning. That was around 11, that last clip you probably saw. Right now it is just about 8 o'clock. So we've been out all day. I let this dry, spin around so you can see. It's a hell of a lot brighter than it was, but it's white. We're about to do a second coat on there. Got another can of DryLock because it took a lot more than I thought it would. It says it covers like 100 to 150 square foot per 2 coats per gallon. That's not the case. I mean, I guess we put it on pretty thick, but it still needs another coat. So we'll see how well that goes. It's definitely so much brighter in here. It feels great, but doesn't matter because it's going to get covered up tomorrow. So I figured I would put another coat on here, and tomorrow we'll finish putting the walls. I can't think. The furring strips in the foam. All right, so here you can see me doing the second coat. I mainly did it with a brush. It just went on really quick and easy. There really wasn't much to do. All right, so that's the second coat done. A little bit half-assed, as you can probably tell. The first coat we did was really, really thick. So I figured that I would just go through and basically touch up some areas that definitely looked like they needed to be filled. If there's any voids in the block anywhere. I did notice this. Haven't noticed this before. The condensation, focus, is on the inside. It was all iced over, and then I turned my heater on and it's melting. I just touched wet paint. But over here you can tell, right, I don't know, somewhere in there, it was leaking water. So anyway, a little bit of a humidity issue. Possibly just those windows, but I mean, it's also over here too, I think. Yep, it's also on the inside. So, gotta deal with that. But that leads me to believe that when I saw that these blocks in here were wet, it's because of condensation and not leaking. So maybe DryLock didn't need to do it, but here we are. Tomorrow what we're gonna do is we're going to lay out these on the walls, like I described in, I don't know if it was last video or this video. Anyway, lay those out, tap con those to the wall, put these sheets up in there. Gonna have to do a lot of cutting and trimming. I got some silicone, but it was polyurethane masonry silicone, but now that it's painted, I don't know if that'll apply. Doesn't really matter. matter. Eventually it'll get covered up by something else. But yeah, so that's what's happening. So that's probably the next thing you'll see is me laying that out. So I actually forgot that I bought a deeper box and a plug for my welder here. So I actually went ahead and installed this. So you can see that here. It's a 2 1/8 inch deep box. I just got a 3-wire plug, and that's what we're putting in. All right, there you go. A completed plug. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I gotta go to the other end and flip it into the... I gotta put the whole breaker back in the box and then put the other ends into that. But that's for tomorrow when I can turn off the breaker. So now the next thing you'll see is most likely me laying out the walls. So see y'all tomorrow. All right, good morning. We're doing furniture strips today. I got them laid out. I almost started cutting without recording, but so we had it the way I had it the other day. If you remember, we had all these laid out just like this, with doubled up on this side. I don't have the boxes laid out, but I had it the other way so that the double was on that side, just to check. And it looks like I have more offcuts this way. Right here in front of the window, and then 2 in front of the window, where the other way I only have 1 and 1. So that means I'll have 2 offcuts so I can flank the windows, and I'll get more out of my scrap piece. So I might not run out like I thought I was originally. So I'm gonna cut these at 90.5. I think that's about a 1/4 inch long, but it'll get me a starting point to figure out how much I need to cut off it. So let me set up a tripod. All right, so I've gotten this far. I haven't recorded much of it. It's been kind of a hassle and repetitive. This foam isn't actually in there. It's just kind of floating. I use it as a spacer for that, and I only got 3 in. For some reason, these top ones are extremely hard to hammer drill through. And then even some of the other ones, the screws only go about halfway in before they just stop. I have to beat them with a hammer so it breaks up the concrete, which is not ideal, but I mean, these are in there really good. I got 4 per, and I also put a box in here to see what it would be like. So what I'm thinking, Iris, excuse me, is just like this. That is centered at 45 inches above. So the top that's gonna be there is about 36. And then I'm thinking an 18-inch space, like a typical kitchen. And then halfway in between that 18-inch space is 45, so that this outlet, and then there's gonna be another one, probably on that one, also at 45 right in there. And then this one is probably gonna be at 36 or below. I gotta figure out yet, because I wrote on this that the top is gonna be, oops, dropping the camera here. The top is gonna be, what's that say? 3.5 inches less than the tops adjacent to it. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get that plug space. If I want it here, if I want it down here, I don't know. Got to figure it out, but I'll be back. Okay, been a little bit. I took that one piece down. Got about that far. Took some lunch. And then I did that right before, and I just finished up this one. Got this box mounted down here. I believe that's 26 inches to the center above the floor. That one's 45 for reference. Next one over, not this one, but this one, is gonna have the same one. So skip one, be symmetrical. This one's not 2 feet. I put one screw in after it was 24 inches and then measured it, and now it's 24 and a quarter, 24 and, I don't know, 3/8, something like that. So, a little bit off, but I'll just make up for it later on. All right, so I know it's kind of been a while, and you haven't seen a whole lot, which I get, but I'm almost done. I just finished up this cross member. Ooh, try my hands, there we go. This one right here underneath the window, and the other ones, I've got the other box mounted here that you can see. So these two were mounted first, and then I just did this one. So I got three left, and then the other one next to the side of the window, and I'm done. At least framing. And I'm really sorry I haven't done any time lapse anything with this because it's so time consuming. A lot of it's just me pushing a drill into a concrete wall, and it hurts. So none of that, but I'll check back when I'm done. Maybe I'll do one of them on time lapse just so you can see. All right, so I just got done with this one. As you saw, there's your one time lapse. Doesn't take a whole lot of effort, I would say, but it's just time consuming with doing them over and over. So I'm gonna do these last two. One's gonna have 2 feet, 2 foot spacing, and one won't. And then I'm gonna put my last box on, and then we'll likely, probably do these, and then run some wire. Right back. All right, so I got all of them up except that one. That one's kind of just floating. I'm just not feeling up to it right now. So I started cutting these, and I got 3 of them in. They're super messy. I don't really need it to be perfect. I don't really care. They're just floating at the moment. I haven't used my caulk yet. I'm just gonna test fit them all and then caulk them all at the same time so I don't let my caulk dry. So this is where we're at, and yeah. All right, so we finally got it to this stage, which is basically just the foam floating in the walls. It's kind of there as a friction fit. Gotta go back and poly it, and next I'm just gonna run wiring. I don't know if that's this video or not. This video's got to be getting pretty long. So I'll just turn around and show you what I did on this wall, and probably end it. All right, so here we go. Basically everything's just friction fit. I wasn't too worried about everything fitting perfectly. Like I have a gap right here, but I'm gonna run wire to that box anyway, and you can see a gap. I cut out the tops and bottoms where the wires would go in and come out. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to drop from here down into this box and then across, and then I don't know how this is going to work. Maybe across and then up and then across, down, and then the same thing over there. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out, but that's the next step. I do have to still caulk these to the wall, and I do have to caulk up here also. The amount of water from condensation when it melts that comes off of this, I'm worried we'll get back in here and, you know, mold and mildew and all that. But let's step back. I'll give you a little wide angle view here. Look at that. It is noticeably warmer in here already. I've had the heater on the whole time, and just as I was putting these up, it gets significantly warmer. Got a couple scraps, and there's only one wall, but it's definitely helped. So I think I am gonna end right now, just because This video's got to be super long. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. If you think I'm doing something wrong, please tell me. If you like the video, like it. If you don't, I don't care. Later.